Ladies and gentlemen, the State of the League address is next. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine, and tonight is arguably the biggest night in SFL history. Tonight, we will be rolling out platforms for future success that may not be unique in nature, but will be unique in execution and originality. Tonight, the SFL changes forever. Along the way, make note of any questions that you have. At the end of the broadcast, I will do my best to answer all of them. We will stay on the air as necessary until 8 Central. Let me just say that the last 6 seasons of SFL action, it's hard to compare them to Season 7. Every season the league gets more competitive. Every season the league gets more popular. Every season the SFL gets more exciting. That won't change in 2017. Tonight, I can announce that Season 8 will start Sunday, January 15th, 2017 at 7 Central after a doubleheader of NFL divisional round playoff games at noon and 3:30. It will be a day of football unlike any other anyone has ever experienced. Let's waste no time in showing you why. The league would like to remind you that this video is a beta project and is not necessarily a reflection of the final version of the product. Enjoy. Welcome to SFL Red Zone. We start you off this afternoon with the Houston Hyenas and the Cleveland Vipers, the first of 5 games to kick off around the Simulation Football League today. All at the same time, all SFL action, all the time, as Cleveland and Houston are down for the coin toss. Cleveland has won the toss. They will receive, and that is how the SFL day of action will begin. Houston to kick off. They're in the more matte blues today. Cleveland in the road black helmets, black pants, and white jerseys. SFL action on the red zone is underway. Houston Hyenas kick it! Let the red zone era of the SFL begin from the 8-yard line. Bowles off the curve. Darian Bowles up to the 28. So now comes quarterback Mario Savage. Cleveland looking for their first win of the season here in Houston. Of course, obviously the Hyenas are also looking to get off the schneid. They've had a tough start to the season as well. And we'll go first down with 2 in the backfield. More action is about to begin across the SFL, and we'll get you out to those games, get you out of those games in a moment. Mario Savage's pass out of the backfield to Marcus Allen Bosa, pick up 3 to the 31-yard line. Now we're going to go around the league to other SFL action. We've got a couple of other games starting on the triple sim. NYC and Carolina is at the top left of the screen. Oklahoma City and Carolina is at the right-hand side of the screen. You saw the Renegades returning the kickoff there to the 30. Second down and 7. Cleveland going down the field. That's caught for a first down. I think about 13 yards. And that is Scott King on the catch. King needs to be more of a part of this Cleveland offense, and a good start for the Vipers there in the opening minute. Tallahassee's going to kick off to NYC. We've got 3 games underway in the SFL. Back in Oklahoma City, Joseph Redfeather back to pass. Step into the pocket, and he goes down for the sack. Loss of 7 yards on the play, and a good start for the Carolina defense. Spurgeon returns the kickoff for the Sailors up to the 25-yard line, and that's where Carter Peters will start with the football. See if the Renegades can get out of their second and long situation. Houston jumps offside. Farnsworth Bentley is the man called for the penalty there, and that'll help Cleveland move a little closer to scoring position. Redfeather to pass on 2nd and 17. That pass is knocked in the air, bobbled around, and caught. A pickup of 12 for Oklahoma City. It's 3rd down there. Now let's go double screen as Dallas and Santa Fe are about to get underway. Dallas is returning the kickoff, and we keep you on Cleveland and Houston as the Vipers are nearing the midfield mark and now past the midfield mark with that catch for Houston, 46. Cleveland's going no huddle. Dallas and Santa Fe, a huge game today as the undefeated Gorillas taking on the one-loss Roughnecks. Rocco Marconi is the Dallas quarterback. Mike Davis in the backfield, the number 2 pick from this year's draft, and we'll see if Dallas has what it takes. It's their second game this season. Cleveland pushed behind the line. It's now 2nd down and long. Nice run by Davis here on 1st and 10, and it picks up 7. In Oklahoma City, or in Carolina rather, between the Renegades and the Skyhawks, the Renegades did have to punt it away. Nice catch though on that 2nd and long tip pass. Certainly some excitement there. And Carolina will have their first offensive possession coming up. The last game to get underway will be Los Angeles and Baltimore, and we'll take you out to that game shortly. It's a 3rd down and 9 for Cleveland. Houston has jumped offside again. Houston being bitten by the penalty bug, but it'll be declined. Matthew Lee with a big catch into field goal range, and also a nice catch down the field by Demetrius Who Dat Out Dat to the 43-yard line, and a 1st down for Dallas. So the offside penalty puts Houston at the 27-yard line. Still opening minute in Dallas, no score, and Cleveland is on the move. Solid opening possession for the Vipers on the road. Marconi back to pass, deep ball down the field. That's caught again, down to the Santa Fe 37-yard line, and that's Jonathan Concord with the catch. Dallas is moving the ball well on Santa Fe here in the early stages. And Cleveland is nearing the red zone. And that pass is caught and dragging a defender to the 20-yard line, I believe, Scott King. So the Cleveland Vipers are in the red zone, the first team into the red zone today. And give you that game full screen as Mike Davis picks up 2 yards on 1st down for Dallas. So out to Houston, where Cleveland is in the red zone. 7:50 to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 3 for the Vipers. Trips off to the left side, and Savage will hand it off, and Bose is tackled in the backfield, a loss of 2. Matthew Boozer makes the tackle for Houston. 3rd down and 5 coming up as Houston tries to force a field goal or maybe even a turnover. That would be preferred for the Hyena defense. Scott King is lined up wide, top of the screen. 4 receivers for Savage. 1 linebacker in the middle there, standing at the 1st down marker. As Savage drops back the pass, and Savage is in some trouble. Hit as he threw, and the pass is incomplete. So Cleveland will have to settle for a field goal. Good pressure there by Green and the rest of the Hyena defensive front. This will be a 39-yard attempt for Cleveland, and their red zone trip falls short of a touchdown. 7:12 to go in the first. LA and Baltimore kicking off shortly. We'll get you out to that kickoff in a moment. And the rest of the SFL action around the league, we'll get you updated on that as well once we see if Cleveland can put points on the board. 39-yard field goal for the Vipers. Low, bad snap, and the hold and the kick took forever, but the kick is good, and Cleveland has taken a 3-0 lead over Houston. So now with that possession over, let's go out to some other action. We're back in Dallas, where Dallas had to punt the ball away on their first possession, but they down it nicely inside the 3-yard line down to the 2. as you look at the beautiful Mullinex Oil Field, as LA and Baltimore at the top of your screen are about to get underway. So we'll see if Santa Fe can dig themselves out of this hole with 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first. SFL action all across the league. The red zone bounces you from game to game to game to game, keeping you updated on all the important details of each and every SFL contest. Second down and 11 after a 1-yard loss for J. Calvin Kim, and Santa Fe is in dangerous territory of giving up a safety here early. Ed Rebrabi on that tackle. Los Angeles will receive the opening kickoff, and that kick will be returned from the 8-yard line. Flag will roll past the 25 and up to the 29. We'll see what the Sharks can do on the road against Baltimore. Second down and 11 at the 1. Handed off to J. Calvin Kim, and he barely got back to the line of scrimmage. The ball is now just inside the 1-yard line. Ed Rebrabi with the big tackle. Los Angeles and Baltimore coming into the game both looking for a big win. Both teams sit at 2 and 3. And it's 1st and 10 at the 29 for LA, and Murdoch Mock will start off with a pass. Decides to gain 1 yard. Meanwhile, Dallas has got their safety. Ed Rebrabi dominates the opening defensive possession, and it's 2-0 Dallas. So let's go to triple screen now. We're back in Houston, where the Hyenas have the ball on their own 41. Back to Tallahassee and NYC for the first time since kickoff, as the Pride are driving now into NYC territory. And we still have the beginning of the Sharks and the Crabs for you now at the top right of the screen. Second down and 9, trip set off to the left side. Mock back to pass. Mock will fire it down the field. That pass is caught, first down to the 44. And a good start for Murdoch Mock. He's 2 for 2. Interception by Cleveland. As you look at the instant replay now, Stevie T. Diggs picks off Steve Abuaji, and Cleveland is off to a fast start in Houston. And not what the Hyenas expected here at home. After the sack in NYC, it's second down and 16 for Tallahassee with 6:43 to go in the first. Wall-to-wall action here as LA is trying to get past the midfield strike. And a deep ball from Savage is caught by Capone, and Mott's pass is intercepted. And the pass down the field for Tallahassee is incomplete. So third down and 16 for the Pride. Baltimore takes over in LA territory, and Mario Savage makes a deep connection down the field to Tony Capone. Excellent catch in traffic by Capone, but we're going to take you out to NYC now solely. Third down and 16 for Tallahassee, and we'll see what they can do. .6:31 to go in the first quarter, no score. And the Pride are trying to avoid, they can't take a sack here, trying to stay in field goal range. Deep ball from Alexander West, and the pass is caught by Kenny G for the touchdown over the outstretched arm of Alexander Brown. And Tallahassee strikes first, a deep ball, a 33-yard touchdown pass. As we take a look at it again, West with all kinds of time finds Kenny G open deep down the field, and Tallahassee is going to strike first on the road in the Big Apple. Back to multiple sim action here as Cleveland and Houston is in top right, or top left rather, with the Vipers driving. We're back to Carolina as we still have no score. Back and forth game with not a lot of offense going on between the Renegades and the Skyhawks. It's now third down and 2 for Carolina at their own 37. Dallas is on the move again. There you see a deep ball that's nearly picked off, but they still hold a 2-0 lead over Santa Fe. And they're still on the drive after forcing the field goal, but just outside of field goal range. Cleveland is on the Houston 28 with 5 minutes to go. John English takes a handoff and puts in a first down, and Carolina will continue their drive. No gain from Marcus Allen Bose there in Houston, with the Vipers still holding an edge early. 3-0, 0-0, and 2-0. The game's on the screen right now, as Marconi will check down to Mike Davis. Davis has to run picks at 4. So we got Baltimore and LA also scoreless. Juan Bosco got hurt earlier in this game. He may return. He's having some cramping issues. Savage's pass is incomplete. It's going to be third down and 10 for Cleveland. And then also Tallahassee just took the lead over NYC 7-0. Four receivers, three off to the right side, and Rocco Marconi will drop back and pass. That pass by Mario Savage is intercepted. Marconi's pass is caught by Iba, but it's short of the first down, so Savage gives the ball right back to Houston. And we'll take a look at that replay. Meanwhile, Alex Zeli with a diving catch. This was Noah Martin taking the football away from Matthew Lee at the top left of your screen. But Alex Zeli makes the biggest offensive play of the first quarter in Raleigh. A diving catch at the 35-yard line. 4th down and 1. Dallas's offense is still on the field. And they've got 8 on the play clock. It looks like they're just trying to draw Santa Fe off sides. It won't work. And Dallas will have to call a timeout. Houston has got the interception. Hands off to Darnell Black. Darnell Black is breaking through past the 40. Darnell Black on the first play of the drive for Houston will score the game's first touchdown. The second touchdown overall today, joining Kenny G. And Houston has taken a 6-3 lead off of the interception. A brilliant run from Darnell Black as we see his first big carry of the day. Can't ask much more as Black takes it on a counter. Look at the blocking down the field. Dallas is about to attempt a field goal. Deep ball here, and it's caught one-handed by Sean Harrelson. And now Carolina's on the board. It's 6-0 Skyhawks over OKC. Action, a flurry of action all across the league here late in the first quarters. And Dallas's field goal is good. The Roughnecks lead 5-0. The future of the SFL is here. This is the SFL Red Zone. That's right, folks. SFL Red Zone. You won't ever go hungry for football on Sunday again. Each Sunday of the SFL's extended 14-week season, the SFL will track 5 games all at the same time. We'll be able to update you with scores from across the league, and by showing not only just 1 game at a time, but 2, 3, and 4 games at a time, even 5. The Red Zone will come with an extensive pregame with league contributors all across the country, and we'll have an extensive postgame show with original league content and insight. Each and every SFL game will have live, on-the-fly, unique play-by-play once again, as I will go around the league and find all the action and excitement each and every SFL game has to offer. The hundreds in the SFL community will all come together in one big celebration and competitive space to prove just how great the SFL really is. We'll be attacking a new audience as well, as the SFL is going live to YouTube for Season 8. You ask, why 5 games? Will there be other games played on a given week? You'll find out after a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back. This is the SFL State of the League address. Plenty more to come. Welcome back to the SFL State of the League address. So we left you with why 5 games on the SFL Red Zone? That's a bit of an odd number. Will there be other games played on a given week? Why don't we let some other guys talk to you about that?
Hey everybody, I'm Andy Hamilton.
And I'm Mike Lively.
Oh fuck, I fucked it up. Hey everybody, I'm Andy Hamilton.
And I'm Mike Lively.
And I'm excited to be your play-by-play commentator for the SFL's Game of the Week next season. I'll be joined by Mike on the call for all of the biggest games in the league's 8th season, and can't wait to bring you the exciting action.
I am new to SFL, but I'm ready to get started learning about the teams and preparing for primetime games with you all.
Cam's going to keep you guys entertained with the Red Zone with wall-to-wall league coverage, and then it's our job to come in at the end of the week and put a bow on a tremendous week of action with the biggest game of the week. Join us next season for all the fun. Nailed it.
The SFL's Game of the Week is a centralized celebration of the top game each week of the SFL season. It's a primetime in the spotlight broadcast that will serve as a big bonus game to the rest of the SFL action that already has occurred through Red Zone. Andy Hamilton and Michael Lively will be the first ever play-by-play and color commentating crew on a consistent basis. Then myself and Greg Morris when the SFL had a Game of the Week set up in Season 5. This allows the SFL to expand its network and provide a different type of broadcast with different types of voices, whether you're enjoying the energy of the Red Zone or the excitement of all eyes in the league focused on you on the Game of the Week presented by Andy and Michael. Sim football has never been on a bigger stage. And we thank Andy and Mike for, although while I screwed it up just a bit for them, providing us a preview of of some of their audio for next season. And I'm excited to get Andy and Mike in the booth and get them going. Some of you at this point may be wondering why the change. The SFL front office staff is growing, but my personal time is not. I had a great setup at my old job outside the SFL. I always had Sundays and Mondays off, and I was fortunate enough to be granted a shift in work hours midweek so that the league could have a third night of broadcasting. That lifestyle came to a close when I decided to leave my job, move up to the DFW Metroplex, and pursue a sports multimedia position at a university or pro sports team. Over the course of the SFL's 7th season, while a full-time job opportunity hasn't fallen my way yet, I have put myself in a position to make that happen. This is the next step. Long term, the SFL simply won't survive in a 3 nights a week live model. The league needed to rethink its presentation and how we could truly get the most bang for our buck in entertainment. We will put on a brilliant show before, during, and after Red Zone, and you will truly be amazed at how SFL games can be viewed and enjoyed. And with Season 8 as just a few months away, to all first-time viewers out there, the SFL's 7th season is ongoing. Now in Week 9 of a 12-week regular season, we broadcast one play-by-play game on Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, with 5 other games running simultaneously across 3 nights on other networks. For more information about our current season and how you can join for the future, visit simulationfl.com. So what could we possibly have up our sleeve still to come? We're here to show you that tonight too. Think about it. What pairs well with Red Zone? What pairs well with non-stop excitement with hundreds of players on the field at once? Fantasy football. And finally, the Simulation Football League has a customized, automated fantasy football game to play. And unfortunately, okay, good deal. I thought it went away on me for a moment. Give me just a second while I get that all revved up here. I had it open and it closed out on me. Give us just a moment, folks. We want to bring this to you. All right, here we go. or not. Come on, people. This is not right. Give us just a second. This wouldn't be a SFL broadcast without some technical difficulties. I may have blown up the internet. Give us just a minute. Oh, there it is. All right, let's get us all back set up here because I had to restart some things.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important...
Let's not. Goodness gracious. Classic Cam, you're right about that. Fantasy football, that's why we're all here. Look at this, folks. Our very own fantasy football game. This is for real. This is happening for real. This is custom tailor-made for the SFL, and we will be, obviously this is a work in progress platform, but you'll have a salary cap, you'll be able to join a league, and you'll be able to choose players based on their salary cap, and you will be able to add them in, and you'll be able to go and add in your receivers, and we've got defenders for you to pick up on your team as well, all until your balance, your cap, has run out. And this is ours. No one else in the world has this fantasy football type of setup and has this custom tailor-made fantasy football system. And we appreciate those who helped us hook it up behind the scenes. And if you've got everything at your disposal, and this is just a quick and short display. When you're done, you can submit your team, and we'll get all the points automated for you throughout the SFL point system. And you've got everything you could possibly want here, and we'll get all these players filled out, and we'll get fantasy football going. And you'll have fantasy football paired with Red Zone on SFL game day. And this is it, folks. No one got the guess right. On a lot of post-game shows that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, I was asking people, hey, do you know what we've got going on? Everyone tried to make a guess, and no one could get it. But you got it now. SFL Fantasy Football paired with SFL Red Zone in the SFL Game of the Week in 2017. So a further explanation of fantasy football. Through our website, you will be able to build a new team each week through a salary cap. The SFL's fantasy football staff will set values from week to week and provide analysis and content to help you build a variety of potentially solid lineups. The league will keep track of the week-to-week winners of the grand prize, to the ultimate SFL fantasy football champion at the end of the season. We may not be on the air 3 nights a week moving forward, but we're closer than ever before to providing you that nonstop excitement, whether it be through fantasy football, the game of the week, Red Zone, and daily content updates relating to fantasy, top 10s, game previews, recaps, and more. If you're interested in any opportunities to help out and contribute within the SFL, whether it be as part of the Red Zone broadcast and presentation, the SFL Fantasy Football content creators and presentation, see Slack tomorrow for update opportunities in the hashtag SFL job openings thread. Soon you'll be able to see this info on our updated website, which we will show you now. Now again, this is like fantasy football, like the Red Zone, another work in progress. And we're just going to take you through it. This is not launched and will not launch until later down the line. SimulationFL.com has had many renditions over the years, but this one is truly unique, aimed to catch the eye of our first-time viewer. Our clean layout will help new users navigate through our robust and complex league, answering questions and exciting newcomers at every turn. Our new player sign-up is more detailed than ever before, featuring personalized descriptions of teams and operations, and gives the player more control over their potential landing spot and destination. This will launch later on this fall. Our new Director of Player Personnel will help players find their ideal situation, from helping them into our communication app Slack to communicating with teams that there might be a player just for them. The SFL is truly the People's League, with opportunities for thousands to potentially be a part of the most unique and dedicated group of football video gamers ever assembled on the planet. And again, a work in progress here for the SFL. But if you missed it earlier, the date of January 15th, 2017 is our start date, and we are taking things live to YouTube. With that, we're going to take another short break. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more exciting developments from the Simulation Football League. And if you were paying close attention, I gave away some spoilers. This is the SFL Network and the SFL State of the League Address. We're back for more after this. Welcome back to the SFL's State of the League Address. It's time to introduce our league staff in place for Season 8. New to the league staff, a selfless man who is doing what needs to be done to help the league thrive. He is a SFL champion and has truly taken the league to the next level. Jermaine Smith, owner of the DC Dragons and current director of game day operations, will be joining the league full-time, giving up ownership of the Dragon franchise, which is currently in its third season in the league. He will become the SFL president, assisting the commissioner in helping push a quality sim football product, from game sims to hexed rosters to playbook verifications. This will allow the SFL to grow, thrive, and prosper. Andrew Rastelli, who is currently serving as head of statistics, will be adding director of player personnel to his title. Rastelli is a welcomed member to the league staff and will be facilitating initial contract discussions among the league's member teams, while being a voice for the players in general and in league meetings. Tallahassee owner Frank Gooden Jr. will head the fantasy football department, responsible for carrying out our fantasy presence with content and content creators and back-end performance necessary to do a quality job. With the four of us, and many to be added at sub-levels of league operations, the SFL has secured its future and is energized to have many new people join our organization. It is with a heavy heart that I announce that 3 other teams will not be returning to the SFL family for Season 8. The Minneapolis Maulers, owned by Thomas Paterniti, is the first team announcing a departure. Paterniti is aggressively pursuing a career in the medical field, and his duties and responsibilities coupled with that venture force him to step down. We hope Paterniti can stay involved with the league on some capacity moving forward. The Orlando Intimidators, owned by Kyle Walsh, will also not be returning. Season 2's champion, Walsh has had to focus on family and growing turbulence with his day-to-day schedule over the last few months and expects challenges to continue into next year. Walsh will remain involved in helping the league office in the graphics department and with streaming content. The Louisville Wolfpack, led by Derek Overstreet, is the final team owner stepping aside. Overstreet plays Division I college football and has pro football and educational aspirations that have limited his time. With 3 of the 4 champions stepping aside, there has never been more opportunity in the SFL to win a title than ever before. All of these teams will continue their efforts to strive towards a championship this season and will be eligible for the playoffs. These decisions were not made easily and were not made out of anger or disdain. We wish all of these owners well in future endeavors, and I would like to personally thank Kyle Walsh, Thomas Paterniti, and Derek Overstreet for the amount of value, for the tremendous play on the field, and for the tremendous respect shown for our league and for the people in it over the seasons that they have been directly involved in a team. This didn't come lightly for anybody, but life happens. And for these 3, life is just a little problematic right now, too problematic to continue with ownership duties. That leaves us with 12 teams returning for Season 7. The league is choosing to dissolve the contracts of these member teams at the end of this season, and all active user players will become free agents off those teams this offseason. It is with great excitement that I am announcing tonight the league, keeping up with a tradition as a league of opportunity and to ensure the quality of the league continues to improve, will be adding 2 new teams to the league for Season 8, 2 new expansion teams to the league for Season 8, taking our team total to 14. The league will air 6 games a week, 5 on SFL Red Zone, and 1 on the Game of the Week broadcast with Andy and Mike. 2 teams will have a bye once every 7 weeks, but the league's regular season schedule will expand from 12 to 14 weeks. Divisions will be realigned into 2 7-team conferences, and cross-conference play will return for Season 8. Scheduling of opponents and whether 6 or 8 teams will make the playoffs is still to be determined. I will also still be doing play-by-play for all playoff games and the Red Zone. Those announcements will come later in the offseason. The application process for one of the 2 new expansion teams will be open tomorrow. Information on how to apply and what is needed to apply will be available on Slack at that time. The 2 new teams will be announced during halftime of the SFL Championship game, with a date of Sunday, November 6th, tentatively scheduled for that game, which will be hosted by the team with the better of the 2 records after the league held the championship game at a neutral site each of the last 6 seasons. So players from Louisville, Minneapolis, and D.C. will be free agents this offseason. But what does that mean? And what does the offseason have in store for current active players across the league? You'll find out after our last short break. This is the SFL State of the League Address. Welcome back to the SFL's State of the League Address. I'm SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine. If you're just joining us, we've unveiled SFL Red Zone, the new crew for our Game of the Week broadcast. SFL Fantasy Football, our redesigned website, discussed teams not returning to the league in 2017, the new front office staff, opportunities for new team owners, and our season structure for Season 8, which will begin in January. Again, any questions you have will be answered at the end, and we will stay on the air as necessary until 8 Central. Now, it's time to discuss user players, the upcoming offseason, and a new player pay scale model. Any player who came into the league after the cutoff period, allowing you to be an eligible star player, and who is currently serving as a non-star player, quote-unquote, will enter free agency at any position and tier they desire. Eligible tier, I should say. Any player who signed as a star last offseason, whose contract has expired, can enter free agency with regular player position and market value rules applying. Any player who is under a long-term contract with a team that is returning next season is signed for Season 8, player payment pending. Players can still opt out of deals with player opt-out penalty rules applying. Any player who signs up to be a part of the SFL from this point until the rookie draft will enter the rookie draft player pool and won't sign with a team until the rookie draft this fall. All active players currently under a contract and any who sign a star contract this season meaning Season 8, must pay their way in the league before the contract can be finalized. The SFL pay scale for Season 8 and beyond will be by position, not by tier, as tier does not necessarily indicate the value of a player from season to season, and certain positions get more recognition naturally. There is, however, for top dollar, an opportunity to pay more to be a gold, and we'll detail those specifics now. Get on the field, begin your legacy, and be the drama. For $5, you are a star. Sign your first official contract and become one of the most influential role players in the league, whether that be at offensive or defensive line, as a slot receiver, a tight end, or a kicker and a punter. For those $5 a season, you get customization of your player completely, an opportunity to be interviewed on the postgame show, all of your stats tracked, although we do not have the ability to track O-line statistics. Full control of your player's contract. 1 game a week streamed online, and access to the SFL on the Slack app. For $6, you are a major factor. Not only are you a star, but you play an intricate role on the defensive side of the ball. Linebackers, cornerbacks, strong, and free safeties. What you get everything that you get as at the $5 price point, but you get to be the largest defensive difference makers, and you get personalized in-game graphics, and who doesn't like those? For $7, you are in the spotlight. We all know who gets the glory. It's not the men in the trenches. It's the men making plays down the field, quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. You get everything that you get for paying $5 or $6. Plus, you get the most opportunities for touchdowns, and who wouldn't want that? And you get the most airtime on the broadcast, whether that be the Red Zone or the Game of the Week. Now, if that is not satisfactory to you, you can also be a face of the franchise. For $10 a season, you can become one of the most influential pieces of a SFL team, or the most influential piece, I should say, by boosting your profile as the face of the franchise. Your performance will dramatically affect the teams, and with it, you get a player cutout, a custom playout on the website, which is used in all SFL and team marketing. You get a player bio video, and you get to be the number one player in offense or on offense or on the defensive side of the ball, plus all of the features that you get with any other price point. This is the SFL player pay scale model, and as we mentioned to you in our initial State of the League address, this is not a money grab. This is to ensure the integrity of the league is upheld, that we are operating in a professional manner, and we know who wants to be here, who really enjoys this, and who really is in support of not just their player, not just their team, but in the league as well. Other league members, and as we grow this and as we add and establish new features for your entertainment and pleasure, those people should get a cut of what the SFL makes, and all money that the SFL makes is reinvested back into the league or paid out to those who make significant contributions to the Simulation Football League. So we appreciate your support, and we hope to answer any further questions you may have about this, as I'm sure there are many questions pertaining to this issue and player issues in general, which we will get to here shortly. In other news, all current owners have accepted a $25 franchise fee per season, and all franchises will individually decide how that fee is paid amongst its owners and coaches. SFL Nation, not in our history has there been this much buzz, this much energy heading into a season while we still have a current season left to finish. We hope all of you enjoy the race to the postseason, the SFL playoffs, and the championship game as we prepare for a monumental 2017 in more ways than one. Any questions you may have, now post them in the chat room. I will get to them one at a time after our last short break. This is the SFL State of the League Address, and we'll be right back in a moment. Robert Smith is in the house. Thanks for being here, Robert. Again, post your questions now. I'll answer them in 2 minutes. Welcome back to the SFL State of the League Address. I'm your Commissioner, Cameron Irvine, and I will say if you missed the SFL Red Zone announcement from the beginning of the broadcast. We'll go back to that briefly at the end of the show if we have time. Let me get to some questions, and I've got a lot here. Let's see here. Joe Ye 25 asks, so is that fee per season? Yes, per season. DHMYC is referencing a few owners leaving the league. They quit is a strong word. We mutually parted ways, and they had to do that because of life situations and issues that they're having to deal with, and I think they're certainly going to be around moving forward. Drew T 513, 14 teams. How will the conferences be aligned? It's 2 7-team conferences. Cross-conference play is still in play for Season 8. Sonic 0002, has the season award been announced? Season awards will be given out in the postseason, Sonic. No, $5 a game. Are you kidding me? No, we're not greedy people here. We would never do that to you. I'm an effing problem asks, hold up, so 4 teams are available? No, we're going from 16 to 14. We're doing that for a number of reasons. First off, this is our first season with SFL Red Zone and a new game day concept. We want to make sure that we have that on point, and we also want to be able to make sure that we are able to expand over multiple off seasons. So if going down to 14 allows us to go to 16 to 18 to 21 in the following subsequent seasons, and that allows us a longer and more healthy growth track. So there are 2 positions available at the ownership level heading into next season. Spec Poo asks, how about the players that are currently users and still in the SFL? Do they have to pay as well? Yes, you would continue to have to pay moving forward. If you would decide not to, that would void your contract. 757 Hooper, yes, pay per season. Ramos Lynn asks, now that every player is a free agent, can I make anyone a gold, or am I still waiting on market value? Not every player is a free agent. The players that are on Minneapolis, DC, Louisville, those players will become free agents. Now I think you're referring to players who join the league currently as a quote unquote non-star. And will become or have the ability to have stars in the league. I think that's what you're asking, Ramos. And to answer your question, yes, those players are not restricted on what tier level they can sign for, so you would not have to wait on market value of those non-star players because we don't track their stats. That's not a benefit of being a non-star player in the league. Alexander 3487 asks, a player can't be an owner also, right? That will be decided in owner league meetings in terms of which owners and coaches also having players on the field, and what type of rules need to be set to ensure the integrity of our league in that area. So we have not decided that yet. Let's. I'm scrolling down here. By the way, I'm going in order, guys. So I may not have seen something. TJ CAG SFL says, can current stars be promoted to a new higher position even if it's at a different change of position? I'm going to let owners talk about that, vote on that, and discuss that in owner meetings. Basically what TJ CAG is asking is if players who may be bronze or silvers that may be large contributors to the league, can they also be elevated to different positions and be able to change positions and upgrade their talent level, and that currently is not on the books in the rules, and that'll have to be voted on by the owners this offseason. Glory D asks, well, 3 teams departed, so 2 of them are getting replaced. So that means 1 franchise is folded completely until announced otherwise. 4 teams will not return, including Jermaine Smith's DC Dragons, as he is joining us at the league level. 4 teams will not return. The 2 teams coming in will be expansion teams. It will not be relocation. We are going to just fold those 4 franchises as we've got a lot of player movement and involvement, obviously, in the last few months since we've gotten over 175 player signups just in that short period of time. So we're trying to navigate that boost in popularity. Robert 26 Smith we're happy to have him along. And he asked, does the SFL have any investors? And no, we currently do not, Mr. Smith. But we certainly would like to have some conversations about our future in that regard. I certainly would be humbled and honored by that as we are continuing to push for an experience that gives the everyday person the sense that they are a professional football player. And we certainly believe that we have a wide audience to appeal to. And I'd love to talk to you or anyone else interested in investing in the league at some point. That would be a thrill to me. Jason1347 asks. Well, I already answered that. I beg your pardon. Football Dude 93 asks, "What's SFL Red Zone?" Obviously, joined us just a bit late. SFL Red Zone essentially takes almost all of our games on a given week and it puts it on your screen at the same time. With multiple games going at once, we'll bounce around the league in all the action, and I will be calling all of the games as they happen. And it's going to be an exciting time for the SFL, and just a really different way and a necessary way for us to showcase our games moving forward, going away from the 3 nights a week model just because I'm just not able to do that long term moving forward, and I want the SFL to be something that can last for a long time and make sense financially with time management in life, with family, with friends, etc. So I'm trying to think with a long-term vision here. Warrior J32 asks, what about players on teams that are currently under contract? Can we sign any tier of contract with the new team? So Warrior J, you fall under current star contract. You're on DC. Your contract will be voided and released. And you will be able to sign with any team. Market value does apply to your player, so if your market value is a gold, you can not be signed as a bronze unless you consent, and if your market value is a bronze, you are not able to sign as a gold under any circumstance, because the market value dictates that you shouldn't, that your player on the field isn't worth that contract, and that's standard market value rules. And by the way, if anyone is interested in going over some of the rules in the rule book, our rule book is always on our website. Clint Hendershot says, how can I become an owner in one of the 6 places available? So it's actually 2. Just want to confirm. But you can become an owner by applying for an owner. And if you're interested in becoming an owner and are relatively new to this league, I definitely would recommend pairing up or getting with some sort of an owner or other people that are interested in owning a team to boost your chances of getting a spot. Maybe if you've never coached before, maybe try your hand at coaching first, because obviously there's more responsibility on an owner than there is a coach, and it's tough stepping over steps on the ladder in this league and being able to be competitive. So I would say if you're ready and gung-ho to improve your involvement and standing within the SFL and pedigree within the SFL, then I definitely think that taking that next step is something you should pursue. And if you're still unclear on how to do that, then just send me a PM on Slack and I'll point you in the right direction. Let's see. Jason, I already answered Mr. Smith's question. Hopefully my answer was good for him. X Factor 56 asks, so how would we know what players on our team has upgraded themselves? And I'm not clear how that works. So essentially, Ronnie, I believe this is answering your question. If you have a non-star user on your team, they have the ability to go to any tier and any position that they desire because they did not get to be a star or choose their position when they originally joined the league. So essentially, they are getting a fresh start, and it's still up to the team and the staff to sign players at specific levels. Obviously, market value still applies to players who were stars and played in this league this year. Market value still determines some contract situations there. Robert Smith, I might consider giving Ziggy Wolf a call. or Ziggy Wilf, I should say, a call. And yeah, hey, you can give more people some calls than that. Please spread the word by all means. Landry Hat asked, will the game of the week be decided on a week-to-week basis? Yes. The game of the week obviously will be determined for the first game, but in subsequent weeks, we intend to put the most intriguing matchup in the spotlight with Andy and Mike to have a lot of fun with. The game of the week will still carry SFL graphics and presentation. You're not going to lose anything from that game of the week. We're still gonna ball it out in prime time there in that regard, and I think Andy and Mike are going to do a great job, and I think it's going to give us a balance of people who like to watch the league and all that it has to offer, and people who like to watch the best teams in our league and getting to see the best of what the SFL has on the field too in a different way. Lyric Da Vinci asks, will there be an overview for us boneheads who were late? Well, not necessarily an overview, but this will be archived and available on YouTube here later tonight. Devin Cabrera, SFL, asks, what are the responsibilities of being an owner? The responsibilities of being an SFL owner actually were outlined in our previous State of the League address. And so that I don't fumble over all of my words, actually, you know what? I have the address here. So give me just a moment, and I can give you the exact verbatim of what we said on the previous State of the League address. Bear with me just a moment. Moving forward, quote, the expectation of ownership is to pay a franchise fee to cover league costs and to make an effort from the start of the offseason to the end of the championship game to engage player participants, to build a true team, and to be able to manage and associate with people in a professional manner, to put a quality entertainment product out on the football field, to be active and engaged in our community, and to find ways to get others involved, whether it be in their organization or with the league as a whole. So that would be that should answer your question. Fletter 5 says maybe someone can buy a franchise at Simulation FL. Certainly we are moving in that direction where our franchises start to have value. I don't know how much you would have to pay to get someone to give up their team at this point. But you certainly could give it a shot. I suppose. I've never really been posed the question. Now, obviously, later down the line, you just never know how things are going to go, how popular we may or may not get. But yes, in a sense, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could figure out how to swindle something along. But you probably would be better off just applying and getting a team without going through that hassle. Super Big Mac 23 asks, how will you pick the new owners? The owners are picked by current owners. I do not hold a vote, but I do give my opinion when asked. All applications for ownership are given to league owners for review. They typically review that during the week of the championship game. They determine, based on experience, based on presentation, based on activity, they determine which owners they feel like will best represent the SFL and who will be able to take to the field quickly and become a franchise that is competitive. Obviously, this is a very, very competitive league. There's not a single team in our league that's won less than 2 games here, and we've still got 4 weeks to go. So, we want to make sure that the competitive spirit continues to be at an all-time high, and those are some of the things that the owners weigh, and then we announce their decisions, their group decisions at halftime of the SFL Championship game in November. No, in all seriousness, I want to clarify. In all seriousness, right now you currently cannot buy a franchise from someone else. You have to apply fair and square. We are not a league of big players who can just come in and buy teams, and the average man can't afford a team. That's not what we're about. We're about the average man. We are about giving the average man that hope and possibility and potential. So I was joking earlier, and now as I scroll through the chat, I probably I'm noticing I should clarify. 757 Hooper says, so do we have to pay to sign with a new team? Whether you sign with a new team or whether you are serving a current contract, players to continue in the SFL must pay per season depending upon the position that they currently hold or depending upon the position within the league that they desire. It's something that will help ensure the integrity of our league, and it is something that the SFL believes is fair for all that we're going to be providing, especially the new fantasy football custom engine and everything else that goes along with running the SFL. Devin Cabrera, SFL, asks, how will the offseason work in the fall, I'm guessing, is what you mean. And in the fall, we'll have the standard owner meetings. We'll have free agency where we will determine every single active player who pays their way into Season 8. It will be an open free agency period, and you will be able to sign according to signing rules that the league has put forth. Following that, we will set our sights on the rookie draft. And following that, we will begin preparations for the season. Again, for those of you who are new this season, you know about the long off season that we had because I was moving into the DFW area, into the Metroplex this summer, and we had to push things back a little bit. But this off season that's not the case. You're talking about just a little bit over 2 months of off season. This is going to go fast and furious. And it's going to be exciting, and you're not going to miss a minute of the action as we move forward through this season and heading into next season. X Factor 56 says all Louisville players are not humans, so how will that work? So non-user players on teams who fold will be released into non-user free agency, and at that point, if a team has not filled its roster, its star roster, with either user players from free agency or user players from the rookie draft, then they would dip into that non-user free agency pool. My full expectations would be that hopefully we can fill all of our 14 teams with our 12 star players heading into next season. That was the goal that we set at the beginning of the year when I gave a similar address. And we believe that goal is still very much obtainable. NY Knights said, how will teams be able to scout based on the change to red zone, i.e. viewing full games? So obviously during the red zone, we'll bounce around from game to game to game. We'll show you everything that's important of every single game. After the red zone has concluded, all full games will continue to be archived on YouTube so that teams can continue to scout, look at film, and break those things down and be able to look at their game specifically, in a one-on-one level. But obviously the league's focus is the league and bringing this community together. We don't want to split this community up into 3 nights a week anymore. We want to bring everyone together for a great few hours of SFL football and just football in general, and have a lot of fun with that. But obviously, full games would be available on demand, and that's not ever going to change. I'm F and Problem asks, what if my contract is up after this season as a player? If your contract is up after this season as a player, then market value does apply to your player. Essentially, market value is showing you what your player is worth. The only stipulation that has to contracts is if you have a gold market value, you cannot sign a bronze deal unless you're a user player and you user consent. And if you have a bronze market value, you cannot sign a gold contract. No exceptions as the market determines that your player was not talented enough to receive that type of payment. Mighty RX asks, are there non-user players from the folding teams being removed from the league? See my previous comment to X Factor with them going into non-user free agency, which is the last part of the offseason. My hope is that those players would just be set for retirement. However, we may not fill the league up to the brim, and in that situation, teams would be able to dip into that free agent pool to sign guys. Rosti42 asks, how many star players can a team have now? It's still currently at 12. Drew T513 asks, will there be a draft? Yes, a rookie draft this fall, our third straight season of that. X Factor asks, why not just let everyone become free agents and all teams remake their teams? Because we already did that. We've already done that once before. I don't see this as a drastic remake of the SFL. This is not a remake. This is simply allowing players who did not have the chance to be star players and to be the positions that they desired because they joined this season. This is allowing them that opportunity. Everything else in relation to the league will work similarly to how it worked last season. There's not really much of a difference, and it's pretty standard. And I don't think that we need to hit the reset button here because the SFL doesn't feel like we're resetting. We just feel like we're pushing forward. We have a lot of great rules and organizations in place, and we're just going to continue to try to get these user players in the best positions that they want and they deserve, and do it in a simulation way, but also do it in a way that makes sense just for person-to-person relations. Sitting here, Flossin asks or comments, saw the end zone action and route home from work. You guys are taking this to a whole new level. Appreciate that. Red zone. DHMYC asks, so there's a fee for us players too? Yes, the player pay scale model was revealed earlier on this broadcast, and it will be available for viewing on our website here later this evening, actually. I'll get that page up. Servo222 asks, okay, so you have a face of the franchise. Is that going to be limited to a certain amount of spots since not everyone can be the face of the franchise? Exactly. Each franchise will determine who their face of the franchise will be in a mutual agreement with the player, and the expectation of that team, of that organization from the player should be, my player is the best player on this team. And it should be the team's goal to make that a reality, as the player is paying more for that opportunity, and we are obviously giving that player more of an opportunity to be a face of their team, to be a face of the league in a variety of different ways. So, it's just one player per team, and either the team can decide to go with a face of the franchise that makes sense according to user player that may really desire and want to be one, or a team could set a specific position to be their face of the franchise and then would fill that spot with a person that signed, that eventually signed for that open slot. SpecPoo1424 asks, how much money would you have to pay to keep your player? Again, the player pay scale model was revealed just moments ago on the State of the League address, and that will be available on the website. It depends on where you fall and what you sign for. DHMYC asks, will I still be under contract next season? You should know your own contract. Those details are on your team page on the website. Joe Ye 25 says, I think you should poll for the game of the week, and I agree. I think that would be a fantastic idea. SpecPoo, to your off-season question, I've answered that. AJ Pick 6 asks, will non-star user players have the opportunity to sign with their current team at any position and forego the draft. That is correct. Non-star user players have the opportunity to sign in free agency with their current team at any position and forego the draft. That is absolutely correct. AJ pick 6. Devin Cabrera, SFL, asks, will the SFL ever do a draft lottery like the NBA? It would really spice up the draft process. I don't really believe in the NBA draft lottery. I believe that the worst team should get the number 1 pick, and it should be based on your record as the NFL does it. Robert Smith says, take the SFL draft to New York. Now, that would be exciting. Maybe some TV networks should make a reality TV show and follow your players and owners. Well, yeah, it would. By the way, Robert, we have a documentary, and I think that I think I linked it to you one time. But we obviously that would be pretty interesting. And actually, to that note, we've always joked that we wanted to have league meetings in Vegas. And I'm not sure how all of our players fly out to the same location and make that happen, but I would most certainly be excited about that if league meetings or a draft or something like that came about. It would certainly be exciting to meet all the people that are involved with this league all over the country, in Mexico and Canada and all over the world. Let's see. 757 Hooper, do you have to pay even if you're not a star? If you choose to continue to be a non-star player, you do not have to pay. It is free, but keep in mind that non-star players don't get their stats tracked. You have limited customization of your player. It's not full customization in relation to height, weight, input on abilities of the type of player that you are, or things like that. So obviously there's limitations to be a non-star, but if you decided to continue to be a non-star player, then yeah, you wouldn't have to pay. But I don't know why someone wouldn't just pay $5 to have your stats tracked and to be able to take full advantage of the league. But to each his own. Landry Hat asks, if a contracted user player is determined to be non-active, they will remain on the roster as a non-user. They can then be replaced with a new active user with the same size, abilities, position, and contract moving forward. Is that correct? That is correct, as long as the player agrees to just replacing that player and forfeiting the ability to customize their player in the way that they want to. $757 Hooper, since you're a cornerback, would you have to pay? If you wanted to be a star cornerback, which there will be player positions at cornerback at the star at any star level that come available, you would have to pay to upgrade to a star. If you just wanted to continue to be a non-star and be on a team, that's fine too. We will continue to have 12-star players. We keep mentioning the draft, as says Lord Raider. What's the set goal for said draft to happen and next season? The set goal for the draft is to have it. Obviously, the rounds, the number of rounds in the draft will be determined by how many players that we have and that we feel like can get drafted. Last season, of course, we had 3 rounds of the draft, and every player got drafted that signed up to be a part of this league, and we want similar things to happen. So, Joe Ye 25, piggybacking off of that, the rounds of the draft will be determined later. Hamrack, are you going to announce the new coaches tonight? I'm assuming the new owners. The new owners will be announced at halftime of the SFL Championship game. No one's even gotten to apply for these open positions yet, so there's still a lot to be done there. Drew T513 asks, can free agents sign with other teams? My short answer to that is yes. Free agents can sign with any team. I'm searching for some questions here. I want to make sure. Oh, awesome, Robert. That's really great. I'm really honored that you had a chance to take a look at that. Luthorn16 asks, will teams have the standard 3 golds, 4 silvers, and 5 bronze players? Yes, we intend to keep the same model. Set goal of the draft. Okay, Robert is trying to clarify for me. Set goal of the draft, since we've got the current season ending in early November and the 8th season beginning in mid-January, the timing of the draft we would certainly like to have in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, closer to Thanksgiving. Things get a little crazy there in late December with a lot of our league people and just everyone in general with family and the holidays and all those things. So an early December rookie draft would be ideal. Mighty RX asks for offensive and defensive linemen $5 regardless of tier. That's correct. It's the pay is by position, not by tier. I'm a effing problem ass, so if I'm a bronze and I pay $10, the owner can still choose a different face to his franchise. No. If you pay $10, you would be a gold player and you would be the face of the franchise. It would be agreed upon by the team and the player that you were going to pay to be the face of the franchise, and you would be the face. And that team would know going into that season that you would be the face. And each team would designate their face of the franchise. So that certainly wouldn't happen. You can only be a face of the franchise if you are a gold player. So you would need to upgrade yourself to a gold. And if you are currently playing in the league, you would need to not have a bronze market value. But if you have either a silver or gold market value, or you are a non-star user, or your contract is expiring as a current player, or you opt out of your current contract. If you're under contract, you would be able to be eligible for the face of the franchise. The only reason why you wouldn't be is if a team did not either want you as a face of the franchise, did not want your position as the face of the franchise, or you had a bronze market value after playing this season. Drew T513 asks, you said one ownership app opening tomorrow. Well, ownership for both. Yeah, that's I'm saying you can't apply to own both teams. So ownership application for one of the spots, because you would only fill it out once, would become available. That's what I meant. I'm sorry if that was misleading. 757 Hooper asks, so if I wanted to be a gold cornerback, I would have to pay $5, right? It's not 5. Here's a review. It would be $6. $6 could get you a gold star cornerback. But you would either, again, if you're playing currently this season as a star and you have a bronze market value, you would not be eligible to be a gold cornerback. But any other situation, yes, if you struck a deal with a team to sign to be their gold corner, then it would be $6 for that season at the point of signing. Devin Cabrera SFL asks, can you still be a gold or silver player without buying a start player package? No. To be a gold, silver, or bronze player, depending upon your position, you would have to pay to continue to be a star and have all of the features that being a star provides you, which was laid out here in the player pay model. Kenny G04, details on possible payment methods. It's really your call. We handle all league transactions through PayPal at this time. It's really the simplest way, honestly, to handle transactions with this league. And but if PayPal did not work for you, we certainly could arrange other ways of payment. There's no question about that. TJ Keg SFL asked, does Robert Smith want to come out of retirement and play for Baltimore in the SFL? Well, you'd have to ask him that. Super Big Mac 23 asked, what if I pay $10 and everybody's face of the franchise is taken? You would not pay until your contract is signed. You do not need to pay anything until you sign a contract or you continue your current existing contract. That is when you would pay. You don't to become official with a team that's sort of the last part that's needed. So you wouldn't pay before you found out if you were going to be something or not. You would pay at that point. Robert Bose, would you consider giving season-ending award winners a discount on player fees? Yes. Alexander 3487 says, that's not a question. My apologies. Robert Bose asks, can there be more than one face of the franchise per team? It's not faces of the franchise, it's face of the franchise. No, sorry, Robert. Robert 26 Smith. That's cold. Turning down the Baltimore Crabs. Robert, I'm sure we could waive your fee. And before anyone jumps down my back for that, I mean, good God, he's a former NFL running back, and he deserves a little break on the $5 investment that I'm sure would be breaking his bank at this point. I'm effing problem ass, so it would make sense to retire my bronze outside linebacker and make a new guy for next season. Not necessarily. If you have a bronze linebacker right now, I don't know what your contract is, but if you have a bronze linebacker right now, if you're at a silver or a gold market value level, you can transition into a silver or gold outside linebacker. You're not stuck as a bronze forever. And the way that Aquanta Shine plays and the way that the Queen City defense has been racking up tackles, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Mighty RX, payment deadlines and how do we handle delinquencies? Well, as I said, you don't sign until you pay. So there is no delinquency. You won't next season. You're not on the roster as a star player unless you pay. And then we're not talking about a $500 hit on your bank account. We're talking a very small nominal fee to help keep the league running and to help the league thrive. So we should not have an issue of delinquencies. Teams sign people, and those people pay if they want to be a star. Would a non-tier player have a problem covering a goal wide receiver? You bet your bottom dollar. And you wouldn't be probably covering a goal wide receiver 7'5", hopper because you'd be about third or fourth on the depth chart. Robert Bose, sorry, it's not a question. I'm going through all of these. Luthorn 16, so silvers and bronzes don't pay. No, that's not what I said. Golds, silvers, and bronzes pay. Non-star players do not pay. Flava 2K asks, wait, Cam, I need the credit and that dough since the red zone was my idea. Actually, it came from PX1 Sports, and Mike Peters was with us early in the evening. He had the red zone idea, and he executed it in a much different way than the SFL plans to execute the red zone. Obviously, we want to put our unique spin on it, but that's where I was impressed with its potential, and that was a long time ago. And obviously, it's been in our back pocket as something that we potentially could do down the road, and now we're here. So Flava, it might have been your idea, but I think it was PX1's on the video game level first, and I think it was the NFL's idea before anybody else's. I'm having a problem. You can go from bronze to gold if market value warrants it. If market value warrants it is always the part that people forget. And your market value as a bronze player may not be at bronze. It could be silver and gold, in which case you would be able to move up. Okay, we've got a potential of 15 minutes left on the broadcast before we have to call tonight. I appreciate all of your comments and thoughts and questions and trying to get everything or get all your ducks in a row personally as the SFL moves forward. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to check out our custom fantasy football, we got it for you here. Although our windows are all out of whack. Just in case you didn't get to see it earlier and before. Yeah, you'll need to fill out that application, and you'll need to go through the process when it becomes available. But obviously anything you want to do on your end on your own is totally up to you. I can't. That's all whatever you want to do with it. Flava 2K asks, can you advertise your business as an ad on during games? We're obviously open to selling advertisements and doing those type of things. If you have a business that you would like to advertise, just let us know and we'll figure out how to get that done. I'm an effing problem. Is it going to be weekly winners in the fantasy league? That actually has not been 100% finalized or determined. There obviously will be cash prizes, and fantasy football is free, like the Red Zone is free. Now, obviously, you get those things when you pay to be a star player, and that's another advantage of being a star player, is getting SFL fantasy football as sort of part of that package. But we haven't determined final prizes or grand prizes or anything like that with fantasy. DHMYC, I don't know what FanDuel and DraftKings does. All I know is that we'll have a salary cap, and you'll be able to pick a new team from week to week, and we'll have people around that can help you, or not necessarily help you, but we'll have some fantasy experts who I'm sure will step up into that role and talk about the players they think are going to have great games that week, or players that they think have a lot of value in the salary cap system, etc. Once again, I thank Robert Smith for stopping by, and I thank all of you guys for being here on a big night for the SFL. I'm gonna cut this off right here, and I'm going to briefly show off how many people did not get to see Red Zone at the beginning of the broadcast. Was that? I'm trying to get a read, because I will play a snippet of it, the last 5 minutes of it, so you can get a chance to see it if you did not get a chance to see it earlier. Zone to Cricket asks, why don't we do something where we could cut a deal if we pay more up front? Actually, owners will be talking about that possibility at owner meetings, so that's not totally out of the question. All right, it looks like everybody. We'll have this up on demand on our YouTube channel, so if you missed anything, you'll be able to go back with it. But I hope everybody is excited and energized. Ramos, I'm gonna get this up on YouTube ASAP for you, man, so you can get a chance to check it out. And thank you so much for joining us, guys, tonight. I'm excited about the future of the SFL. We have set ourselves up for long-term success. We're going to be around for a long, long time, and we needed this, and we just want everyone to have a good time. That's what we're all about. For the Simulation Football League and my entire staff, and for all of our fans, our players, our coaches, and our important owners in the SFL, For Jermaine Smith, SFL League President, effective next season, and or effective immediately following the end of the DC Dragons season, I am SFL Commissioner and play-by-play commentator Cameron Irvine, saying we hope you enjoyed the State of the League address, and we hope you're excited about what is to come. As always, humbled and energized by your support, contributions, and appreciation. What a night. We'll see you guys Wednesday night for the continuation of Week 9 here on the SFL Network. Good night, guys.